So I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start sort of right at the beginning. Burlesque is an art form that kind of isn't doesn't get the best rep, I would say. It's not things lots of people know about. So could you explain sort of what burlesque is and what the purpose of it is?
That's a really hard question actually, because so many people have got so many like different versions of what they think
Hmm.
burlesque is. So for me personally, burlesque is just a way of expressing yourself and being creative on stage.
Mhm.
Um, it is a strip tease,
Mhm.
so that's the one thing that I am definitely 100% on. And when people say it's not a strip tease, it is, because it is literally the art of the tease.
Hmm.
You don't have to strip, obviously, but that is what burlesque is. And I think for me as well, it's a chance just for you to kind of get out of your comfort zone
Hmm.
and be your your persona on stage. It
Yeah.
gives you a chance to like escape reality.
And obviously, I saw your event a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't aware going in completely blind, not aware of what burlesque was. And obviously, you said the art of tease. It's not a case of getting your clothes off as quickly as you can, and
No.
sort of just standing there showing off what you got. It's the process of arriving at not total nakedness, but you know, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
how did you
Oh, sorry.
sorry, how did you first discover burlesque? How did you find out about it?
Um, so I did drama, theatre, and media when I was in university,
Mhm.
and we didn't really talk about it and stuff there. However, sorry, it's my dog just come in to say hello. Sorry.
It's all
But
right.
yeah, I did drama, theatre, and media in university. And while I was there, people like started mentioning it and things like that. And I was like, oh, I don't really know what it is, but I kind of had always danced up to this point.
Mhm.
Um, and was like, oh, I want to like kind of have a look, see. Um, and people just kept telling me, oh no, like you don't want to be a stripper, you don't want to be a stripper, you don't want to be a stripper.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the only thing that ever kind of got said. So I kind of just left it for a bit because, being 19 and a little bit like naive and whatever, I
Mhm.
didn't really know what it was either. So I just left it. And then in 2015, I went to a show. I kind of started discovering myself and discovering that I loved like the pin-up look,
Mhm.
and like the 1950s vibe. Not that that's all what
Mhm.
burlesque is, of course, but that fits in so nicely into burlesque.
Mhm.
And one of my best friends, Calamity Cat, was like, let's go to a show. You've never been, like, let's go. So a group of us went, and I literally was just in awe of every single performer on the stage. I was like, I want to be up there. I want to do that. They all just made me feel amazing. And I was like, if I can be on stage and make other people feel how they made me
Wow.
feel, like that's a win.
Mhm.
Um, so I went to that show. At the end of the show, I went up to the producer and was like, "Hi, Fufulabelle. You don't know me, but how do I do that?" Um, and she was like, "Well, join my classes and
Mhm.
stuff." So I joined Cardiff Cabaret Club, and well, almost 8 years later, I'm now teaching and producing myself and still
Yeah,
soloing. So yeah.
which is amazing. Um, Obviously we talked about sort of the art of tease and sort of that sort of part of burlesque. How did it feel the first time you were on stage, knowing that what you were about to do and how you were about to do it?
Well, actually, my first ever solo wasn't in Cardiff, considering I'm part of Cardiff Cabaret Club.
Mm.
It was up in Taunton with Whip It Out Productions. I'd been on stage as a troupe, so
Mhm.
that was good as part of Cardiff Cabaret Club troupe. But I'd never been on stage on my own at this point, so I was absolutely terrified. And I'll be 100% honest, I'm still terrified every single time
Mhm.
before I go on stage now, but it was more so then. But I was fine until they said next to the stage is Lili Del Fflur, and I was like, that's me. Oh my god! Like, what routine am I doing? What am I wearing? What like what? And I was absolutely petrified. And It was my Paddington Bear routine. So
Mm.
yes, I've got a stripping Paddington Bear routine. And had my umbrella and I was twirling it and it got stuck on my coat.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, panic stations. But you just kind of have to show,
Yeah.
the show must go on. So you've got to keep going. So I just kind of yanked it off my coat and carried on. And then just when the final bit came and I just took the coat off and my marmalade pasties were there for the world to see. And the audience just went wild. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I do it for. So I was absolutely terrified, but then that feeling at the end just, yeah, was
Yeah.
amazing. I
Oh.
cried. I actually cried. I was standing inside a stage,
Oh.
like with tears running down my face.
Mm.
And it was, who was it? It was Serendipity, who wasn't in the show that you came to actually, but she has performed for us before. So Serendipity was the stage manager that night, and she's come up to me and was like, Lil, it's fine. Paddington's gonna go on an adventure. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then Paddington did go on an adventure and it's wonderful.
So obviously going from, I know you continue to do solo routines, but now, like you mentioned, you've started teaching. So do you want to talk about the Del Fflurs?
Yes, toughest delights. Oh my God, my babies. So they are my children. They're my kids now. Even though some of them are older than me. But yeah, so when I found Cardiff Cabaret Club, I felt like I'd found like part of my family that I'd never like that had been
Yeah.
missing. Because my family are amazing and like my real family. But you know, like when you just kind of need your tribe.
Yeah.
So I felt like I'd finally like found my tribe. I was always a bit of an outsider in school and whatever. And then I moved to the Valleys. I'm from the Valleys anyway, but I'd lived in Cardiff for 10 years. So moved back and I was like, there's nothing up here. Like there is a little community class, but there's nothing up here that's like burlesque that is for people to then get on stage. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. Why not? Let's just have a go. And I kept putting it off. And then I finally was just brave and was just like, right, let's just do it. And yeah, the Dells started booking on and I was like, so they've became the Dells now. And actually one of them said to me the other day, like, thank you, I'm going through a breakup and now I feel like I found my tribe. And when she said that to me, I was like,
Yeah.
yes. So they're amazing. I love them.
And what we'll talk about a bit more about the show that you recently had in a minute. But what I really enjoyed about just the lineup was that the inclusivity. You know, you had your drag performers, you had cisgendered women, you've had trans performers in the past. Like it's so inclusive. And but another misconception I from what I know is that burlesque is just for women. And so such a spectrum of people taking part, loving, enjoying it, not even just performing, but witnessing and enjoying it from the audience view was absolutely fantastic, which is amazing. So
I love that. I love that you said that.
Onto them, the delightful debuts. What was it like to put that show together?
Oh, do you know what? I guess so. Like, I guess so emotional. At the end of shows, just so proud of them all because they're all like, I think for new performers, you never know where you can go that is a safe space for you to get on stage and be creative and do that because obviously like you've seen it now, it is a striptease. So I wanted the debuts show to be for new performers so that they have the experience of a professional show. So it's run professionally in a safe environment that is surrounded by, like you said, like a diverse crowd because the crowd is from every different walk of life. And then they get to meet people there as well that are just so from everywhere, all different shapes and sizes, all genders, all part of the like queer community. And it's just lovely. Like I love actually, sorry, I go off on one. One of the mums, so Ivy Malice's mum, come up to me at the end and was like, "Are you Mama Fleur?" I was like, "Oh, "Yeah, I'm Mama Del Fflur." So she came up to me and said to me, "Thank you," and I was like, "For what?" And she was just like, well, one, like putting on a great show. I was like, "Oh, like you're welcome."
Yeah.
But it wasn't me; it was the
Yeah.
liner. But she said, "No, thank you for choosing my daughter." Oh, and I was just like, "What? Did you see her up there?" Like, of course. Like,
Incredible.
yes,
Oh.
honestly. So I think like, and so that's what I love about it. And like that show in particular, the debut, we've done 2 debut shows so far. And both have just been like, people keep saying at the end, like, "Why do you call it a debut show?" I'm like,
Mhm.
"Because they're brand new and they are debuting." So that's why
Yeah.
it's a debut show. They're like, "But it's so much better than debuts." I'm like, "That's because they're so good and
Yeah.
they need this platform." And it's really hard to get a new performer, like
Mm.
as a new performer, to get on stage. So it's nice, I think, to
Mm.
have that platform for you.
And then, quite interestingly, the event took place within St Andrew's Church, which is not
I know.
two things that I would put together in my brain. What was the venue like to work with and supporting you on the night? Because I know there was representatives there from the church and
Yeah.
the community group. So what was that like working with them?
Oh, do you know what? I absolutely love the Cardiff Theatre Cafe. Wyburn and Wayne are just like, well, they're just legends, aren't they? Themselves. So anybody that doesn't know them, like the legends, go follow them. But to work with, they're just hilarious. They're wonderful, really easy going. As long as like I just tell them what I want, and they're like, "Yeah, great." So it's really professionally run, but you have a laugh with them as well. And I think my big thing with Del Fflur Productions was I wanted it to feel like a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to use community spaces. Like obviously the show Festive Frolics is not going to be in a community
Yeah.
space in a pub, but you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to use different
Yeah.
venues.
Yeah. That's it.
But I like to try and use community venues where possible. Um, so that's a bonus as well, that like the money that we pay for the venue goes to keeping the church,
Yeah.
well, alive really, fixing the
Yeah.
roof and whatever. And I love that because like a lot of the well, not a lot, some of the performers that we have are religious. So they're just like, "This is so cool that the
Mm.
church is allowing you to do this." Um, and then other people are just like, "Oh my God, we're going to hell for doing this." But yeah, Wyburn and Wayne are great.
Mm.
The venue is fabulous. And we're just going to use them until they tell us they don't want us anymore. So
What's obviously, like I said, it's not two things I would have put together. And obviously, you've talked about how inclusive sort of Del Fflur productions are, and also have hosting the spectrum of people inside the church is obviously something that historically has not been happening as much as it should. So the idea that you're all about community to then knock down that barrier of church, the the queer community, burlesque performers, just naturally by being there is incredible. Absolutely, like it's amazing.
oh, thank you.
You've already mentioned it, but you've got another show coming up. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yes. So we've got Festive Frolics.
Mhm.
So it is what it is called, but it is what it says on the tin. So it's going to be a big Christmas party, I'm hoping. We've got Venus Flytrap hosting, so one of Cardiff's baby queens. So that's great. We've got some performers coming over from Bristol as well. So we like to bridge that gap too from like Bristol and well, Wales in general, because why not? They've
Yeah.
got so many things going on over there. Let's all work together and make the scene better. Yeah, it's in Tiny Rebel. It's going to be wonderful. My mum is coming.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, she's got, so my mum and my mum's best friend, so my auntie,
Hmm.
are coming. They've got the VIP front row tickets. Ah! So that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just
Yeah.
excited, really excited. I've got to pack my stuff as well
Yeah.
now.
Does that make you feel a certain way then that your mum has come in to see what you described as sort of the art of tease? Is that how does that affect
Um,
you?
so she's come to a show before. So remember earlier when I said I kind of wanted to do it when I was like around 19 and I didn't
Mhm.
really know what it was or whatever. So at the time I lived with my mum and she'll kill me for saying this, but I remember saying to her, I'm going to be a burlesque dancer when I came home from like uni one day and she was like, no, you're not. No. And the thing is, my mother is the reason that I love like drag and things because
Hmm.
well, I've grown up just with her. She was in jazz band, and I know that's not
Okay.
like a massive thing now, but back in the day it was.
Hmm.
So lots of her friends were part of the queer community and stuff. So I've just grown up
Yeah.
around all of this, and some of her friends were drag queens and whatever. So I've just always loved it. And then, so for her to say like no when she's so open minded, I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, no, 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 I just no because it's stripping. And
Hmm.
then that was it. I was 19, whatever. I just kind of left it there. So when I moved out and I was older and I just started doing it, I told her and she was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. I was like, well, just come to a show.
Hmm.
So I was competing in North Wales Burlesque Festival in Codi, and she didn't want me to drive all the way up to North Wales on my own. So she was like, well, I'll drive with you. And then, but I'll just sit in the car. And I was like, oh, all right, you're not sitting in the car. So I bought her a ticket anyway. And she came in, and then there's, I, she's lost the video. I haven't got the video now, but I remember it. She's videoing me, and all you can hear is, that's my daughter! Woo!
Oh. Oh.
So
Yeah.
I was like, so you approve of burlesque now then? And she was just like, I loved it. There was all different shapes and sizes on the stage. It was not what I thought it was.
Hmm.
And I was like, yes, so that's why people have got to come to see it, to know what it is. Um, so yeah, so she's coming tomorrow. So that'll be really good. I hope. I do get nervous when she's here though. Because I've got 2 routines in Festive Frolics, quite a sultry, sexy one.
Okay.
Um, and then a more comedic one. So I think her and my aunties will approve more of the comedic one. But you know, we gotta get sexy sometimes. I'm an adult.
So what advice would you have for sort of young people looking to get into burlesque? What advice would you give them?
Watch shows, like buy a ticket, go and see your local scene. Definitely go and see the local scene because then you can see what kind of vibe it is locally.
Mhm.
Also go to other shows too,
Yeah.
but you know, I understand that tickets are expensive, but do your research, have a look online, um, but join a community class because you'll find not only a dance teacher and a mentor, but you'll also find a little tribe
Mhm.
that will become yours forevermore, and you'll have like your little dance family. So yeah, and the tribes and the community is so supportive and everything that I think definitely go and watch shows so you can see what it is. Because I think a lot of people
Mhm.
do think it's like burlesque the musical. So
Yeah.
I know that's a controversial subject. Um, I love the film. It's just not burlesque.
Oh,
Um, but and I probably will go and see the show when it comes out.
yeah, totally.
But I just think it needs a new name.
Hmm.
Oh, my dog saying more. But yeah, go to community classes and go and watch shows so that you actually know what to expect before you step onto stage.
Oh, fabulous. Final question: where can people stay up to date with you and the Del Fleurs?
So we've got Instagram. So just type in Del Fflur Productions. And I'll spell it because people always get confused because it's Welsh. So DEL and then Fleur is double FLUR. Fleer is how it should be said, but everyone just says Fleur. And also same on Facebook. So all our events are all on there. Please give us a follow because we love it. And we will keep you entertained, I promise.
Right, so I'll end the way I started just by saying thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm very excited to see the show on Thursday. So I'll see you there, and I can't wait to see all the wonderful things you're going to end up doing, and the Del Fleurs are going to end up doing.
I know, God, 2024, we've already got plans. So
Oh,
excited.
amazing. But yeah, thank you so much, and I shall speak to you soon.